Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to ITHive.org's Saturday night, or not Saturday night, Saturday morning tech show. Sorry, I'm caught up on Saturday Night Live for some reason. My apology, part of my human condition. So anyway, last week I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I still haven't found a solution that I can show demos and have my image on the video take as well. I know it exists. I just got to find the right combination between not being ridiculously too overpriced and something that's going to work in all kinds of scenarios. So that being said, we'll work on improving that. Today I kind of wanted to talk about a couple of things. Mostly about recycling and stuff like that, particularly in relation to technology and computers. But first, just wanted to mention, and I have to mention it because I saw it like 3 different separate occasions this week, where if you own a business or have a business and you're using a free email service like Gmail or something like that, that's a huge mistake. One thing that it says to your clients is that you're not going to be around for very long, right? There's just an air of unprofessionalism about that. I was at a restaurant this week. They're using Gmail accounts. I, of course, offered my services because that's a clear indication to me that, they have nobody on board managing their technology properly. And it doesn't have to be expensive, right? You just have to have somebody that knows what needs to get done and help you through that, right? And the service like what we offer is very much like that. If our clients want to do some stuff on their own and save some money and stuff, that's great. We can just be a guide, right? And but if they want us to take over and follow direction and work with the company and do things so that the owner's free to run a business, which ideally I think that's what you should do if you have a business. Trust in entities to take your business to the next level and work with that. So anyway, Gmail account, if you have a business, stop that right now. Get yourself a domain name, get some professional email service behind you. It makes a world of difference. In the world of the internet, just like traditionally in the past when you had a storefront, and even if you still have a storefront, you want that storefront to look nice, right? It sets an example. It tells your customers, that you're investing in the business, that you care about the business and stuff. Well, it's no different with websites and email addresses. If they're not done professionally, you send the wrong message to customers, and that's crazy. So and to underline this story, I'll tell you firsthand. So for me, being somebody in technology, my wife wanted me to work with someone who does internet marketing. My wife had talked with this person. She was very wowed by this person and all that stuff. And so that individual sent me some information, right? Now remember, she's doing internet marketing. And she sent me some information, and she sent it from her with a Gmail account. And her business card also had a Gmail account on it. Did I contact this person? No. I told my wife right off the bat, no, I cannot do business with this person because they don't even know the first thing about internet marketing if they're doing internet marketing, because they're not even looking professionally out there in the world. So, yeah, that is one thing that person should have known. So, anyway, on to other things. The thing about recycling and reusing, and I really like the term reusing in the terms of recycling, and I've seen this a lot, and I'm trying to get my head around how we ITHive.org can play a role in making this better. And I've got a thought around this, and I'm trying to, do some exploring and see what it would take to make it a reality. But there's a lot of people who they have technology, and for some reason it fails them, and then they simply throw it out and buy new technology. And back in the 90s, you bought a computer and it, lasted for 2 years and it was out of date. Well, today in 2018, this is not a reality, right? Unless you buy really cheap stuff, which, I never lead my customers down that road because it's stupid. If you make a good investment in technology, there's a lot of really good technology out there. Even some of the less expensive stuff is decent. And to see this stuff go into a recycling program, recycling technology is a difficult thing. We've all seen the stories about, what happens in China, and, China is now closing the door to that. And good that they've failed on accepting that stuff and letting, whole populations have to deal with the garbage and live in that toxic waste. So my thoughts were, well, what if we were able to offer a free pickup service for people throwing out or getting rid of technology, right? We bring that into a factory, we clean it up, we invest in making that piece of technology where it makes sense, a reuse item, right? And then get it out the door on the other end. I think it's all possible, right? And I don't see why it can't work. It's so stay tuned. I think that we're going to work on this a little bit and do some more exploring on a small scale and see how that can transpire. But a couple of things I see with this is that you're making sure that computers that nobody wants anymore aren't ending up in recycling, or and that's the issue we're trying to avoid. Extend that life of that piece of technology, and B, you can likely on the other end, if you do it right, get that technology in the hands of somebody who maybe couldn't afford to buy the newest, latest, greatest stuff. I got to say, the laptop that I'm using right now to do this talk on, I do some corporate work, and while I was working, my boss had said, "Okay, well, you can throw this laptop out and go get tossed to recycling." And I said to her, "Well, is that necessary? Can I take it?" and it's one of my best machines. This laptop is probably 5 years old or so, and it works really good, right? And had I not intervened in that one little case, right, is just an example. This laptop would be somewhere else. Who knows where, and maybe possibly creating environmental damage or whatnot. So, that's that I think is a good thing to try and prevent, and maybe we can make a business model around that and make it work financially. I think it'll be a little bit challenging, but I think if we work on it and get that out, I think it'll be good. I see it all the time, right? I can think of another recent case I can understand is that a client went and, well, sort of a client, but went and I wasn't looking after this machine. That's why I say sort of a client, but laptop stopped working because the fan stopped working, right? So, without consulting me at all, she went and bought another laptop, right? Well, it could probably have been fixed, right? Or so anyway, I have it now, so I'm going to have a look at it and see what I can do for that client. But I think that people, because IT support services can be a little bit expensive, and they don't know who to reach out to, and they have a problem, and I've seen cases where it's a software issue on a computer and people throw it out, right? Well, that's even more crazy because if you're doing things right, you should never have those kinds of problems on your computer. And if you don't know how to do that, then that's why we exist, to help you with that, right? And to show you and educate, or even do it for you and make sure that things are working in good order. And again, it doesn't have to be expensive, right? It just depends what you want to do and what you want us to do, right? So the service is there. So that's it. Wow, I must be very short-winded today because it's 11 minutes in, and I that's all I wanted to say. Try and keep it to 15 minutes, but just a reminder too, in these sessions, right? It's a live show. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. If I can answer, I'll do that. If not, then maybe we'll cover it next week. But that was one of the ideas to get this going. Is people are always having a little bit issues with their technology, and they're not sure how to do or how to look after things or whatnot. But if we're here to answer questions, even if you're not a client, I think that one of the most important things we're trying to do with our business model is to get information out there, get education out there, right? Because I think a lot of people, they're on the internet, they're doing stuff, and there's all kinds of issues that are around them, and they don't know, right? And they're unaware. And I have a whole laundry list of stories and situations that I've encountered that where this is the case, and it's in all cases not really necessary. People simply need a little bit of guidance, and I equate this to the same kind of analogy where if you have a let's say your car, right? And I've mentioned this before on this show, but it's a good analogy. Our service is equivalent to if you could have your mechanic sitting in your back seat all the time in your car, and you could just, look in the rearview mirror and say, hey, Bob, what's that little rattle, or what's this light coming on, right? And the mechanic can sit back there and say, oh, well, that is an issue. Maybe we should look at it. Or reverse, which happens as well for us, is that mechanic sitting in your back seat is simply calling out to you in the front and saying, hey, I think your tire pressure is low. We should pull in and get it filled. Well, this is what we do for technology, right? We use technology to manage your technology, but we're very human centered, and we understand that people, for the most part, the big component that's missing with people in the interaction with technology is an understanding of why certain things need to be taken care of, and what's important, what's not important, what to watch out for. And we specialize in keeping people out of trouble. And I know it works because we don't deal with a lot of emergencies, and I'm happy about that. I don't like emergencies. It's not good for the hair count. I know my customers don't like them either. Will some happen on occasion? For sure. You can't prevent everything, but I can tell you that the majority of our clients never have emergencies, and I like that. So, having said all that, right, we are approaching 15 minutes. We'll end the show. I invite anybody to, comment on these. We do post this up on our YouTube channel as well. So subscribe there, ask questions, get involved. If there's things that you want us to talk about, right, send us a note, right? And, if you're frustrated out there, be a customer, right? We don't tie anybody in. We want to earn your business as a customer. We don't hold anybody. We don't say, oh, we own you and stuff like that. Crazy things that other tech companies do. You're a customer with ITHive.org because you value the service we give you, right? And if there's no value there, then we have no business being your IT provider. All right. So anyway, enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your Easter long weekend. I know I will. We're out on a bit of a road trip tomorrow. But like always, no matter where I am, I always have my office with me, and I'm always able to respond to my customers. So we'll talk to you later. We'll talk to you next Saturday, which will be April. Happy spring, and things get warmer, and enjoy. All right. See you. Have a good weekend.